We're just going to say it, guys. Mohamed Salah is already a Ballon d'Or contender. The Egyptian king has more goal contributions this season than Vinicius Jr. managed in the whole of last season, and it's only December. But hold on, we'll save that for another video, which will be out soon, where we'll break down why Salah might be on track to become the second African footballer to win the prestigious prize. For now though, let's focus on how he helped us absolutely dismantle West Ham in a stunning 5-0 away victory. This game might just be the most one-sided match in the Premier League this season. From the first whistle to the last, we were in total control. Sure, some will point out that the Hammers are struggling this year, but our performance showcased just how brilliant Arne Slot has been in getting the best out of this team. From Cody Gakpo's impact on our defensive transitions to Trent Alexander-Arnold's masterful use of his ghost position, we've got plenty to unpack. So hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's dive right into it. By now, we've all noticed that Arne Slot prefers sticking to a consistent starting 11, and honestly, who doesn't? But unlike some managers, our boss doesn't rotate the squad just for the sake of it. That's why, heading into this game, there was only one expected change from the previous lineup. Alisson kept his spot between the posts, with Joe Gomez and Virgil van Dijk forming the centre-back pairing. Andrew Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold slotted in as the fullbacks, while the midfield trio featured Ryan Gravenberch, Alexis McAllister and Curtis Jones. The attack saw just one tweak. Luis Diaz returned to the number 9 role after missing the last match for personal reasons, while Cody Gakpo and Mo Salah stayed out wide on the wings. Right from the opening whistle, it was clear we meant business. Just 5 minutes in, we created a huge chance for Mo Salah in a dangerous position. But West Ham's keeper, Alphonse Areola, came up with a brilliant save to deny him. This chance came from our trademark build-up patterns, utilising a 4-2 shape. We overloaded the central areas with Diaz and Curtis Jones, both operating as dual number 10s, while exploiting the wide spaces by feeding Cody Gakpo on the left-hand side. Once Gakpo gets the ball, letting him create separation and cut onto his stronger right foot is the worst mistake you can make. And West Ham learned that the hard way. We've already seen his incredible shooting technique in the previous game, but this time he showed his creative side, slicing their defense open with a perfectly weighted through ball for Salah. Speaking of Gakpo, did you guys know his impact in recent weeks goes far beyond just goal scoring and creativity? Let us break it down for you real quick. If you've been following us since the start of the season, you'll remember that we weren't completely happy with Liverpool's out-of-possession approach. We often dropped into a 4-2-4 shape, with the front line being too passive in the press. This gave opposing teams the freedom to drag our pivot players out of position, opening up space in midfield and exploiting it. Teams like Chelsea, Arsenal, and even Bologna gave us trouble because of this, but in recent weeks, ever since Cody Gakpo became a regular in the starting lineup, this issue has started to disappear. We're no longer giving up as much space in central areas, and Cody's presence has been a big reason why. So, let us show you an example of how Gakpo is making a difference in this aspect of the game. Here you can see signs of the 4-2-4 out-of-possession structure we've used in the past. Normally, when the opposition moves the ball to their right-hand side, our left winger, Gakpo in this case, would push forward to press, completing the first line of pressure. But in this game, and increasingly in recent weeks, we've seen a slight tweak. Instead of Gakpo making the jump, it was Diaz stepping up to press, while Gakpo stayed deeper in midfield to cover the left half space and wide areas. This adjustment has shifted our structure into more of a 4-3-3. The result, even when the opposition tried to drag our pivot players out of position, we still had Gakpo holding his ground in midfield, covering central areas and stepping wide when needed. This subtle change has added balance and made us far more effective out of possession. This is exactly why we've seen the team struggle far less with transition situations compared to the early stages of the season. It's also why those huge gaps in midfield are no longer an issue. So while Gakpo's offensive contributions have been exceptional lately, his work off the ball has arguably been even more important. Adjustments like this are a testament to why Arne Slot and his staff have earned their place with this team. Plenty of other managers either refuse to address problems or simply don't know how to fix them. So far, Slot has demonstrated an incredible ability to adapt, and that's only a good sign for the future. Now, remember how we mentioned that Diaz and Jones were operating as dual number 10s? Well, that's exactly how we opened the scoring. Here, you can see Lucho dropping deep to receive the ball before surging forward with it. Sure, there was a bit of luck involved in the goal, but the drive and finish from Lucho were absolutely top-notch. But do you know who else deserves credit for that goal? It's Trent. That first goal from him carrying the ball into the midfield, which showed the kind of freedom freedom Arne Slot gave to him. Remember when Southgate used Trent as a pure midfielder during the Euros? Yeah, it seems like Slot saw that and said, nope, not doing that nonsense. In this sequence alone, you can see Trent occupying 3 different positions. He's inverting into midfield, drifting back out wide, and even pushing into the right half space, all depending on the situation. This freedom doesn't just make Liverpool's play more fluid, it also puts Trent exactly where he's most dangerous, receiving the ball while facing the goal. From there, he can slice defenses open with just one killer pass. By the way, guys, this doesn't just help Trent deliver consistent performances and get into the best positions to contribute offensively, like he did for his goal, it's also helping us unlock the best version of our star player, Mo Salah. Take a look at Trent's forward passes here. The majority of them are aimed at Salah's right-hand side, targeting those areas where he's most dangerous. These passes are especially deadly right after we win the ball back, catching the opposition off guard. This is all part of Slot's plan to maximize Salah's abilities by keeping him high up the pitch and feeding him long balls whenever the opposition's structure is unsettled. Take a look at this screenshot right before our 5th and final goal. You can see just how high Salah was positioned when we won the ball back. From there, the Egyptian king can wreak havoc. But we're not diving into that just yet. Like we said, a full breakdown is coming soon, so hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss it. As we mentioned earlier, this game was complete domination from start to finish. We generated an impressive 2.92 XG, and even though we scored 5 goals, we still managed to miss some easy chances. On the other side, we held the home team to just 0.32 expected goals and 7 shots. Every player in the backline, including Jarell Quansah, who came on for Gomez, did an outstanding job keeping the Hammers forwards quiet. Even Mohamed Kudus, their most dangerous player, had a relatively quiet game. With 55% possession and looking at this passing network and average positions map, you can see how we controlled the ball while keeping the West Ham players pinned back in their own half. Honestly, the only time it felt like they had any say in the game was after we'd already scored our 4th, or maybe even the 5th goal. Now, looking at how Arne Slot is utilising players like Gakpo, Diaz, Salah, Trent, and others, a question popped into our minds. What if Jurgen Klopp didn't fully maximise the talent of this Liverpool squad last season? After all, it's essentially the same group of players. Take a look at this graph from the brilliant @MarkStats on Twitter. It highlights how Slot's team is outperforming last season's squad across multiple key metrics. The difference is clear, and it really makes you wonder how much untapped potential was left on the table before. But we'll leave that question for you to answer in the comments below. Let us know what you think. Now, before we forget, how could we not talk about our lethal Diogo Jota? The way he timed his run to perfection, staying on side while Salah dazzled the West Ham defenders in the build-up to our 5th goal, was pure class. That kind of movement is something only a seasoned forward can pull off. And the finish, absolutely sublime, as always, from our most efficient strikers. As always, guys, and like we love to say after every game, the situation looks great, we're winning matches, scoring plenty of goals, and our best players are performing at the highest level. Plus, most of our league rivals, aside from Arsenal, aren't exactly thriving right now. But this is the Premier League, and titles are only won on the final week of the campaign. Variants like injuries or red cards can still come into play. So while we have every reason to be thrilled with our team right now, let's hold off on celebrating just yet. There's still a long road ahead. So who was your man of the match? Well, aside from Salah, of course. And what are your predictions for our game against Manchester United? You know, games against relegation battling sides are never easy. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed our analysis, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel.